A Folk Tale from Swaziland by Zoe,
Tiki,
Robert, Mason, and Ethan.
Have you heard the news?
What news do you mean?
The cloud people have seen the horrible drought down here on the earth, so they have invited us all to come for a feast since they lack for nothing.
How very kind of them.
The birds were the only creatures who had actually seen the cloud people, but all of the animals on the land had heard of them. From deep in his home, among the rocks, Tortoise heard the two birds talking about their invitation. He had plans to attend the feast as well.
that's all very good for you. But what about the rest of us down here? Do you intend to let us starve?
Well, if you had wings, we'd be happy to guide you.
Can't you take me with you? I'm just as hungry as you two.
As my friend already told you, we'd take you if you could fly. But you must realize you are too big for us to carry.
But I'm starving.
Oh dear, there must be something we can do. Perhaps the tortoise could fly if we attach some feathers to his feet.
I'll try anything.
The two birds flew around the forest, gathering feathers from all the birds willing to help. It didn't take long to complete the task. The tortoise looked so funny that all the birds had to laugh. But the idea worked. The unlikely guest soared through the air with the birds as they flew off to meet the cloud people.
How are we going to explain to him?
Let's say that he's the king of all birds.
I like the idea. You may call me Everyone, since I'm the king of every one of you. Yes, call me King Everyone.
As expected, the cloud people were honored to have the king of all birds as one of their guests, and the feast they prepared was certainly fit for a king. None of the birds could believe the large amount of food that their host had prepared for them.
It's an honor to have everyone here today. It's our privilege to help you in your time of need. And now the food is ready. Everyone come and enjoy the feast.
After hearing his name, Tortoise stepped forward. He ate everyone's food. When the tortoise finished eating, everything in sight was gone. No one had anything to eat. It went without saying that everyone was mad at everyone. The birds were so furious they took back all the feathers that they had so carefully attached to the tortoise's feet. Although he knew it was what he deserved, the tortoise couldn't help but cry and beg for help.
Don't leave me this way. Without feathers, how can I ever return home?
The parrot was the last to find her feather. Just as she prepared to go, Tortoise pleaded.
My little friend, have mercy on me. Since I cannot fly, I'll have to jump. At least tell my wife to prepare a large pile of grass near our home so I can land safely. If I fall on the rocks, I might die.
However, the bird was in no mood to help the tortoise. She was especially angry since it was her idea to help the tortoise in the first place. So, the bird flew off with a different message for the tortoise's wife.
Your husband requests you to prepare a large pile of rocks near your home.
The tortoise's wife had no idea where her husband was or what he had done, and she had no idea why her husband would want a pile of rocks when they already lived among lots of rocks. But the wife did as she was asked and prepared a large pile of rocks. From up in the clouds, Tortoise could see his wife had made him a pile. He just didn't know the whole truth until he crashed. Ah! And it was a terrible crash that shattered into many pieces. Tortoise's wife nursed him back to health, but his shell was forever scarred from the fall. From that day on, any time someone saw Tortoise's shell, he was reminded that there was a lesson about selfishness for all of us.
Thank you for watching this folk tale.